Hey, welcome back guys. Let's go for a bit of a walk around update tour. Hey, so it's been a little while since the last video, a couple weeks. I'm just going to do this one and kind of continue a shot. It's going to be very little editing, just kind of giving you guys a walk around. I've been a little overwhelmed with the amount of strawberries, or the amount of raspberries and currants that I've had to pick and process. We made a ton of jam. Our freezer's full of strawberries. We're pulling in raspberries. We're pulling in about 5 pounds of raspberries a day, maybe every other day. So that's a lot of picking, and it's a lot of work, and then processing them. So I've been really busy. Work's been busy, so I only have a few hours in the afternoon and maybe a half hour at lunch to do it all. That's why very few videos lately. I've just been really trying to get everything done. And then we'll also talk about the pond. We haven't really done a full update on the pond, so let's go take a look at the pond. So the gazebo and deck are up. Furniture is kind of assembled, put together. We've got the electrical done. The pond's looking amazing. The algae was really bad for maybe 3 weeks, and now it's basically almost non-existent. So I think the pond is really coming into balance. You can see we actually have a pool skimmer there to just kind of collect it quickly and easily, but what used to be a daily job is maybe a weekly job, and we're not really getting much. So it's really coming into balance now. The fish are just voracious. They're really fun to watch. I really like some of these lilies. These are local native lilies here. They open up during the day and they actually close at night. The fish are semi-active in the day, but they really pick it up at nighttime. Nighttime's really spectacular here. The waterfalls are doing awesome. Plants are growing really well. The elderberry right inside the rock there is actually doing amazing. We've got some elephant ears that died to the bottom, died right to the ground, and are coming back up. We've got a bunch of local native flowering plants on the border here. My wife likes the heather, so she planted heather, and then pretty much the rest of it is all from a conservatory nursery that does beneficial insects attracting plants that are all local and native. So we've really tried to turn this into a pollinator garden, and comfrey border around this log has really kind of started to pick up. We've got sea buckthorn peaches, service berries, and everything's really doing well. And then let's talk about Wildflower Hill down there. So we did a video on planting out a hill worth of wildflowers, and we scattered seed everywhere. After that, unfortunately, I had to come in and cut a trench for the electrical, so I'll have to reseed over that. I was kind of hoping some of it would creep over and fill it in naturally. I might have to give it a little bit of a help. You can see on some of these ledges that I'm standing on, the clovers really come in to give a nice little green carpet, cover up the wood chips and the soil. And we've got flowers planted, but the wildflowers are actually doing really well. Let's go down and look at it. On the way down, this yarrow ledge is doing really well. The yarrow seems to really like this area. The lavender's doing really well. We've got cliff tomatoes. So I like to stick stuff everywhere. So we've got some tomatoes growing on a cliff here, and they're actually doing really well as well. We've got zucchini over there. Zucchini growing right in the side of this waterfall. Kind of neat. I just had an extra one, and we've got some zucchinis coming. Oh, I got a big one there. Gotta pick him. So we'll eat this today. You don't want them getting quite that big, so you want to pick them earlier than that. They're a little more tender. Something this big is usually a sign that someone missed it and forgot it. So we'll eat this today because I kind of broke it off a bit, so it won't last long, but it won't need to. We'll eat it tonight. So check out this Wildflower Hill. So tons of diversity. If you guys remember when I planted this out, you know, I just put everything in there. We've got beans, dill, clover, and tons of different wildflowers. We put some wildflower packets in there. If you want to go check out stuff that's planted in here, you can go look at that video. But some of this, we got some ragweed even volunteering, so I'll have to kind of maybe, you know, help that not exist. But we've got lots of pollinators for the bees, and these will kind of naturalize over the years, and hopefully we'll get tons of flowers for pollinators. Lots of different stuff. So it's pretty good. I like, my wife always cracks up how I got random beans growing everywhere. It's kind of funny. Alright, so then looking up on the hill, you can see other stuff's kind of filling in and starting to flower, doing really well. We've got a cherry tree guild that I kind of set up there. Some tomatoes are doing well, and we got some melons climbing down the hill, so that's kind of nice. These tomatoes, typically I'll trellis my tomatoes and I'll heavily prune them. These ones I kind of wanted them leaping and crawling down the hill, and I haven't really done anything with these at all. What I'm risking when you grow your tomatoes like this is kind of a late season, mid-season fungal blights like fusarium wilt, so I'm expecting I'm gonna get some of that. You can see I got tomatoes like way back in there, so I'll have to also go try to find them all. And then we've got some, our peppers are kind of stunted a little bit. That's kind of to be expected because the weather has been really weird. I haven't watered them and they were kind of weak going in. So I'm not sure if I'll get peppers on any of these. I mean, I'm getting some there, so we'll just see if they have time to turn into peppers. I'm sure they'll be fine. We've got more tomatoes growing up in here. So lots and lots of stuff planted everywhere. Another tomato that I snuck in here. So you can see I just kind of like to cram stuff everywhere. Like we got some beets growing right in there. So we've got ornamental flowers, but we've got edibles crammed into here. If I have soil and room, I will tend to plant stuff in them. Look at this sunflower. This sunflower is probably, let me go stand down there so I'm basically 6 feet tall. So this sunflower is still another foot or two above me. So that is a big boy. So the reseeded lawn is looking great. This is what a clover lawn looks like. So from far you can't even tell that this is not full grass. I mixed grass and clover, but actually the grass, because it was so dry, the grass really did poorly. The clover did great. Now if I seed grass into this, it should do a little better now that the soil is shaded, but I think it looks great. So pear trees are doing really well. This one's totally loaded up. I'm probably gonna have to prune quite a bit of this because it's just too much weight. Like, look at this branch. That branch is gonna snap. So unfortunately I'm gonna have to take off some of them. So we'll take off some of the smaller ones, some of the ones that don't look like they're doing as well. And that's just gonna make the tree, just help the tree a bit. We'll do that and kind of tidy up all the branches there. It's just a little bit too much fruit. So the main food forest strip is doing really well, looking great. And can I just mention my love for this peach tree? These peach trees are just gigantic. They really exploded. Peach and the pear a little further back, and that peach there, they were planted at the same time. And look at the peaches. I almost wish I went with 4 peaches. This place would look even more incredible with little, if these 2 were peaches as well. They just fill up so much space. I really like them. So nice. Phloxes are in flower right now. These were my grandma's favorite. They're the only ornamental flower in this whole entire strip here. And this currant bush has given me between 5 and 10 pounds of currant so far. I think it's pretty much done, but I can't believe how many currants I've gotten off of that bush. The elderberries have started to turn into berries, but the birds are getting them already, like before they're even berries. Look at this. Where am I? Yeah, look at that. Nothing on that one. This one's already being taken down. So I may not even get any. So disappointing. Like, it's crazy how they're taking it before the berries are even there. So it might be another year for elderberries. Jenny, get out. Come on. Come on. She has been into this raspberry patch. So this raspberry patch, between this one and the one in the backyard, 5 pounds every 2 days. I just harvested it yesterday, and I can't believe that there's still so many more raspberries on this. Like, I'm gonna have to come back. I'm gonna have to come back and do another load. So much food. Oh man. And the taste is just out of this world. And it's so nice to just be able to eat it fresh. You know you don't have anything on them. I have so many still. Holy moly. I got another 5 pounds just on these bushes here. So we also cleaned up the blackberries. I was gonna put posts in with ropes to kind of keep them off the ground, but I think this year should be pretty fine. I don't really have many blackberries growing really low down on the ground. Linden tree's doing well. We've got flowering mullein behind it, so I probably should have picked some of this mullein earlier, but I love this mullein for teas. So we'll make sure we come in and harvest some of this mullein before we lose our window. Last year we went through it really quick, so I want to get more mullein this year. Okay, lower area garden has been the most neglected of any of my gardens because it's just further away and we've been super busy. So you can see this is beyond wild, very wild, but plants actually kind of don't mind this. They actually like it. So we've got tomatoes growing in there, garlic, zucchinis, we've got some carrots. We've got some decent growth. This peach tree is doing really well, put on a ton of height this year, really pushed up another couple feet. And we've got tomatoes growing. They're doing pretty well. I haven't been taking too many suckers off. You can see already here we're starting to get some dieback. So we'll prune those off. Just try to kind of take that out of the site as much as possible. So we'll get some tomatoes. We won't get tons of tomatoes, but we'll definitely get some. We've got melons growing, and we've got the colt's foot right around the feet of a tomato plant that hasn't been watered in its entire lifetime, and it's actually doing pretty good because the soil's shaded and this is collecting water, and I can always come in and kind of chop it and drop it, like I always say. Just release some light and put some water and decomposition back down and build the soil. But the soil's really good in here. Who doesn't water their tomatoes at all for the whole entire summer and still gets relatively healthy looking plants? See, and this is what I like my grass areas to look like. I haven't mowed it because it's been super dry, like I keep saying. The side benefit of that is that the flowers that inhabit the area are allowed to go to their full, flowering state. So we've got lots of flowers for the pollinators. This pawpaw has really put on a lot of height this year. It's looking really good. I know this looks wild and crazy to a lot of people, but this really is what nature likes. This is how plants do their best. Like right here, this is a great example. We've got a ton of plants planted right in and around a tiny pawpaw tree. This pawpaw was, roughly the size of this little guy last year. And this guy's looking a little bit haggard. But he was a little bigger than that guy last year. And look at this. This thing leapt this year. It's almost as tall as me. It's probably 5 feet tall now. Super healthy leaves. So kind of same area. Very, very minimal insect damage. Same area. And look. So we do get pests. We definitely get pests here. But same general area. Pests living right on the leaf. But because it's a healthy plant, the pests actually can't really get into it. So beans on Wildflower Hill. That's great. So the backyard swale's doing really well. The Jerusalem artichokes making the place look awesome. And lots of flowers. Cherry trees doing really well. Hazelnuts are doing really well. And we've actually had a ton of raspberries on here as well. Now this is just the lower portion of that swale, and this is one of my favorite places this year because it's just so lush. And I've been picking strawberries or raspberries in here while kind of straddling this swale. And the plants are just so healthy, and it feels like you're right inside a jungle. So I'm just walking down in here, picking raspberries. Now the only bad thing about this, obviously, I'm still young, I can get it all this area. But look at the healthiness of that raspberry. The only bad thing about it is that I have to always check myself for ticks when I'm done, because I'm just right into the trees here. Like right in. And we do have ticks. That's probably maybe the worst part about our area that we live in here, is that we actually have to be worried about ticks. So I check myself every day. Okay, so grape trellis update. So they're climbing right up to the top, and they're loaded with grapes. So we've got a ton of grapes this year. Really putting on a ton of growth. I came up and kind of tidied all this up a little bit. Just to I wanted to basically be able to cut some of the grapes out of the bottom down at the ground level, because I don't want fruit flies to jump up from the ground and get into the grapes. I want the sun to kind of dry out moisture and the sun to be able to get at the grapes to help ripen them and sweeten them. So kind of cleared out the bottom a little bit so I could kind of get into the grapes there. But they're doing really, really well as well. Overall, considering how busy I've been, it's been a great year. And that's really why I'm transitioning to these perennial systems. Like, don't judge me on my annuals, because I'm transitioning away from the annuals. I'm transitioning towards the perennial systems, and it's for reasons like this. I can neglect them a ton, and I basically just have to come in and harvest them. So I'm a big fan of perennial substitutes for any kind of annual that you grow, and this year is a perfect example why. So thanks for watching, everyone. Sorry it's been so long since the between videos. I've been really busy. I'll try to do more updates, at least just quick little walkarounds like this on my lunch break. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.